crypto cartel. Bitcoin is pumping like crazy, all-time high after all-time high. If you've been watching our past live streams, you're probably sitting on a lot of gains just like us. If you haven't and you're new here, welcome. We're going to bring you the top alpha, top opportunities in the crypto market right now. You might think the market has already pumped, but it's really a buy high, sell higher season. If you're waiting for a dip, it might not ever come. If it will, we'll be here to tell you guys. And we're going to take a look today at Bitcoin and the rest of the market, the altcoin market, meme coins, and see where the top opportunities are to make money in the crypto market. That's what we're all about. So with that, Alex, let's get into Bitcoin.
All right, guys, welcome. Let's go ahead and get started with Bitcoin's insane pump. So, all right. So if you've been following the stream for, the last few weeks, we did talk about these areas, these levels, right? So initially I had a short-term target because of the shoulder, head and shoulder. These patterns usually play out to the upside. That's exactly what we had here. So I had this pull, right, the head out of that breakout and retest, which gave us about 80,000, right? And I believe our weekly close yesterday was at 80,410. But that didn't stop Bitcoin, right? So we started ripping all the way up to currently at 87,000, right? One of the things that, people are going to say or talk about is, a potential pullback. But people are forgetting at the fact that we are in a stage where when Bitcoin pumps, it just doesn't stop, right? And I'll give you that example. If you go back in time, we had one here specifically. So if you look back to, what is it, October of 2020, right? We had this massive rip, right? We started there and we just went on until for 200 days we pumped, essentially, okay? And one of the things, if you look at this in the macro level, I want to show you something here. When we did this curve on the monthly stochastic, as you can see here, right, we went ahead and we did this turn right here. What happens for the next few months? We just continuously make all-time highs and we stay away from the 200 MA, right? And essentially what's happening right now, it's the same thing. We are having this turn of the stochastics on the monthly and, we're already up 24%, 25%, essentially from that flag breaking out. I do want to remind you something. We've been in 6 months in accumulation zone, right? Sideways for Bitcoin. So it took 6 months to just make this move and to continue to make this move, right? So wouldn't surprise me if by December we're at 100,000 by late December. This is very easy, right? We are very positive on the RSI. MACD is looking incredible. Stochastics RSI is looking incredible. So to really think about a potential pullback is very, very tough. And let's just say that the scenario does come up where we see a pullback. I wouldn't see this going below 80 to I would say 78 to 80,000 would be like a good pullback before we continue to rip. But that's not going to happen. It really isn't. Look at the monthly, go back, study the monthly in different places, right? Monthly Stokes turns up. Guess what we do? We go from 16,000 to 70,000. Same thing here. And you can go ahead and back test this as much as you want, right? So essentially, that's where we're looking at in the macro aspect for Bitcoin. I wouldn't even look to short anything at all. So I'm not even going to go into the bearish scenarios. Like I said, potential pullbacks would be to the 70s. I would say specifically 77 to 80, but I wouldn't really look into that. The next one was total 3. I did have this chart played out for total 3, which is why, altcoins, obviously with Bitcoin started to rip, right? And usually these flags that are rising wedges break out parabolically. And that's exactly what we did. We reached that target. But again, it's the same thing here, right? We're playing this whole story of, we had this flag, we had consolidation for about 6 months. And guess what this flag tells us? That we're going to go to about 1 trillion just in alt 3. Just in total 3, right? Which is all altcoins, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. So overall, we've entered that. We're starting to enter that euphoric time of when Bitcoin pumps, everything pumps. So we're just going to continue to see anything pump, right? But that's the update. Let's see what happens with Total 3 here. Maybe you get a pullback, right? Maybe not. We'll see. But overall, very bullish in general. So that's the update for Bitcoin and Total 3. Do you want to add anything?
Yeah, I just want to take a quick look at Bitcoin because I definitely agree. We're in the stage of the market now where it's in price discovery. There's no resistance overhead. There's no bag holders. Everyone's in profit, and there's a lot of FOMO right now driving the market. A lot of people that were sidelined. A lot of people got sidelined, and I think that's what you're seeing here. Is people were kind of waiting for that confirmation of the Trump win. Uh, you know, and a lot of people de-risk into that, and that's kind of if we rewind the tape here a bit, you see my screen.
Yep.
So the election was here Tuesday, and you can see that really was the low on Bitcoin, and exactly what I said happened. Like it hit this basically bounced off resistance at all-time high, came back below the monthly open, but you can see here. And anyone that was on crypto Twitter or watching prediction markets knew that it wasn't going to be a close race at all. And the Bitcoin market and even Doge the day before really started moving and sniffed this out and has been pricing up aggressively ever since, right? So in terms of where things could top out, I think right now I am obviously I'm enjoying these gains, but I am thinking about taking profit at some point, and not taking profit out of crypto, but potentially, rotating from like Bitcoin, Sol, and ETH to higher risk plays, like waiting for, because what you get in to Alex's point, like what you get in the bear in bull markets like this is Bitcoin prices up pretty aggressively, right? Like almost vertical like this, and right now the pullbacks are almost like unnoticeable. Like you can see around the same time last cycle, you have this wick down from. Let's just take a look at the after all-time highs broken, right? So after here, after 19K, literally just green candles, right? And this is the daily, but you do get some stuff like this. So you have, this tiny 8% retracement there. We haven't even had a retracement of that size yet. You get I'm waiting for this basically. If I cash out, I'm waiting for a 30% retracement like that. And it's, Bitcoin doubled before something like this happened. You had another one here. And basically what happens here is leverage. People get way over leveraged. The market is just way too frothy. And, big players see that, market makers see that, exchanges see that, and they know that a lot of money is there to be taken from the market if they liquidate these guys. And once you start liquidating people, it's a pretty violent cascade. Now, what you're seeing now is actually the same type of reaction, but to the upside. So people have been shorting because we all know most of the crypto markets, like most people don't make money. I think 90% of traders on exchanges lose money. So they're trying to short, thinking that, it's Bitcoin price is way too high, not understanding the dynamics of other people are also trying to short, right? So I can show you the liquidations here. And you can see on the short, this is just the past 24 hours, 350 million in shorts got liquidated, 200 million on Bitcoin alone. So what does that mean? Basically, people are leveraged short here, trying to call a top, and they get liquidated. When they get liquidated, they have to buy back Bitcoin, and the shorts, that compounds, and that's when you get these short squeezes, as they're called. So it's something I'm keeping an eye on. But in terms of like where Bitcoin could top out, I think, one thing we can do is kind of take a fib of this last move up. So this has really been like the range we've been trading in. We 73.9 as the top, and then would you say this is a good spot to take the bottom, Alex? Like 39K? Looks like the first impulse.
No, actually, I would do it for that recent ones like 40 or like 52. Are you talking about to get the newer one, right? Because we did have just our first impulse out of 52K, so I'd probably give that 52K. So that's when we started our big impulse there.
Yeah, but I think I'm talking about the larger uptrend here.
Then yeah, I would say the 26. That area. Yep, there.
26.
Yep, that looks good.
104. So I mean, like, so we're looking at the 1.618, either 104, or if we take the latest wick and you want to be a little bit more conservative, we're coming up on the 1.68618 here at 89K. And I would not be surprised to see some consolidation there, whether we go sideways, whether it's a flush, uh, you know, we don't know. Or you could just run up straight through. I think 100K is going to be a big psychological level. So I'm looking between like 100 to 89, yeah, 89, 90K for like a potential pullback. But I think any pullback is going to be short lived. I think the thing you really want to pay attention to, as I mentioned, like in the bull market, things are really driven by liquidations because people get greedy, they get over, go long a bunch of leverage on alts and really volatile assets, and they get basically liquidated because they get over leveraged. And one thing you can look at is the funding rate heat map. So if we look past, let's look at the past year, and we can see here in March is when you really started to see yellow and orange, meaning people were paying really high amounts of annualized funding. So basically, if you're long a certain asset on an exchange and you're long on leverage, then you're paying a percent of funding rate. And when you annualize it, it was extremely high. Like a whiff, people were paying 300% annualized interest to be long whiff. So those people were paying shorts. And basically what this indicates is like a lot of frothiness, right? So this is when the market topped out. And you can see when the market bottomed, you see a lot of blue and green. So if we look at where we are from like a shorter term perspective, it does look like it's coloring up a bit, but I'd say definitely not to levels that are of concern to me yet. But you can see like as each day goes by, it's starting to tick up in terms of basically the more longs there are on one side, the higher the interest rates gets to be long with leverage. But so far, I mean, it's been liquidation to, like I said, on the shorts. But definitely we're going to be keeping an eye on this and updating in the Telegram. But not much else to add to Bitcoin. I'd say we can start to look at the rest of the market now. As Bitcoin has been going up, a lot of other alts have been making massive moves as well. And, we've been calling a lot of them in our Telegram. But let's take a quick look at what's going on today. So in the top 100, wow, Bitcoin with almost a 10% move in one day. That's crazy. It's like 100 billion gained. So the top movers are Kronos, BitTorrent, Brett, Doge, Whiff. So interesting to see. I think we looked at this yesterday or the day before. It was all meme coins. So looks like Kronos and L1/exchange, they really made a big move. BitTorrent, Brett, I think is probably acting as beta to ETH, which I think is definitely worth taking a look in a second. And then Nero looks like it's consolidating, one of the big winners, but I expect it's just probably leverage getting fleshed out there. If we go to the top 300 over the last day, Act and Peanut both up 300, and then Act has done a 20x in the last day. And we actually have I had a tweet on here about this. Yeah, here it is. So they actually just got listed on Binance, and this is the Binance effect. So Binance posted this at 1 a.m. today. Act and Peanut the squirrel getting listed, and things reacted accordingly. Now we did call out Peanut in our Telegram. So if you're not in that, this is why you should be in it, because we can't always make these videos and give you these calls as they're happening real time in the market. So I think it was yesterday or the day before. Do you remember, Alex?
I think it was 2 days ago, maybe.
I think it was, yeah, on Friday maybe. Here we go.
Yeah.
So happy Bitcoin all-time high. Conditions are right for alt. Scaling into position in peanut, adding more on dips into the white box. We never got those dips. First target is 260 mil. I expect more listings will be announced as volume has been sustained and exchanges will want a part of those fees. So if we look at what happened with peanut, uh, that exact thing basically played out. So you can see here on deck screen your act and peanut 1 and 2 for trending over the last day. And peanut, when we posted this, we can see the market cap was at 11 cents, so around 110 million, and just like a beautiful ascending triangle there. And it really even surpassed our target to over 100% gains. This is a different peanut. So let's pull up the real peanut. Peanut the squirrel, 380 million market cap. So, you're talking about over a 3, almost a 4x here overnight since yesterday. This was, 746. So if you had gotten in when we called it at 746, you'd be up around 300%, 400%, over 400% to when it topped out at $500 million. So congrats to you guys if you got in. I know I still have a bag in here, and maybe we'll add that to our TA section. But yeah, that's why you guys got to be in the Telegram, because we're calling these things real time, and we've been in the market the last 4 or 5 years, understand what drives markets, and this one was pretty obvious. Now Act, I will say, was kind of random, and I did see some tweets on like potential insider trading, because this was at a 20 million market cap before it got listed, or so that one was kind of random. But DGen, I know Alex has been looking at DGen. Maybe we can look at that one. That one's been pretty strong over the last day. Definitely. And let's see what's down. Drift. It looks like some profit taking on the earlier leaders. Giga is down after like a big whale sold. We can take a look at that one. And then from a sector perspective, let's see what's moving here. So over the last day, and we really like to go like top down of like Bitcoin. That we know the market follows Bitcoin. We like to see like what's showing strength, and crypto is a game of momentum. So you want to be betting that the winners are going to keep on winning. This thing is loading kind of slow, so maybe we come back to this. Anything to add after that, Alex?
No. I mean, like I said, we're starting the euphoric scene, and we're gonna see some crazy runs. So, I hope people take this moment kind of serious. We wait for 4 years almost every time to get this sort of euphoria, and so I hope everyone's really into the. You don't have to be into the trenches, but find a decent project and make some money.
Yeah, do not take this time for granted, because Alex and we were out in the bear market, and the opportunity was very hard to find in the bear market. Most things were getting beaten down, and people were really questioning if crypto was going to make it, if it was all over, especially after FTX blew up and Luna and all those blowups, and to finally make it through this and see crypto come out stronger on the other side has just been pretty crazy to watch. Now another one, I think, ETH has really made its move here. I believe it was on Friday or Thursday, we were both looking at ETH, and, just goes to show, like, even Alex, not that you were like shorting it, but you were like, ETH isn't going to make it. Like, everyone was max bearish on this thing. And that's when I said, like, that's opportunity there, because when everyone is, like, you make money when you're right and everyone else is wrong, basically. And when you find spots like that in crypto, you definitely want to exploit them. But I'm not that interested in longing ETH here. I think could maybe get like to the top of the range here to 4K, or maybe test all-time high. But what I am interested is in ETH beta. So you see like Brett, Brett was one of the top gainers. And because it trades on Base Network, it's basically ETH beta. So when ETH goes up, Brett goes up like as leverage ETH. Uh, so I think we can probably skip ETH, right, and go right to Brett, Alex.
Yeah, go for it. Do you want to do Brett, or
All
do you want
right.
me to do Brett?
So yeah, why don't you take a look at Brett?
All right, let's do Brett. So really quickly before we move forward, we just hit 88,200. There you go, man. There you go.
Oh
It's
man,
that
this
easy.
thing is teleporting.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I have the 88 to the 90K region before a pullback. If not, we're just gonna rip through into the 90s. But let's go ahead and take a look at Brett.
Yeah, because Brett was one I picked up at around like 300 mil. Wrote it up for like a nice like 4 or 5x, and I got pretty bearish ETH, and like everyone did, right? And I'm like, I feel like I'm gonna get a chance to buy this lower, but uh, basically just wasn't paying attention to it, and now it's. I don't think it's had its big run yet.
Oh,
Uh,
it's heading there though. I think
yeah,
it's definitely heading for that big run. So let's go ahead and take a look at this one. It's not working the way I wanted to. I mean, this consolidation. I think is very on such coin. I think it was very important to go, you know, heavy. I think, but yeah, look, we respected support, right? Support regions accumulation from August 24th all the way to last week, literally last week. And then from there, we decided to, 63%. So if you had a lot of
yeah,
money, you had, and you saw this, support, it would have, put in your 100K, right? You're easy up 60K in about a week, right? But it's this crazy move. And I mean, this one is going to continue to move for, I mean, I'll give you my short term scenario. So in the next few weeks, maybe get to 2.5 billion, right? Can it get higher? Absolutely. But short term, that's where I see this one at right now. So it's bullish. I mean, we flipped in general. I mean, let's look at the weekly. Yeah, the weekly's just getting started on the stochastics, the RSI. So yeah, I wouldn't expect this. I would expect this one to be minimum 5 billion. Short term, 2.5. A little bit long term, I would say like 5. Yeah, 5 billion. Nuts.
yeah.
It's nuts.
And this
Yeah.
is basically the top meme on base Coinbase's L2. Uh, it's going to be one of the leaders of the cycle.
Yeah.
That's what I had bet on a while ago, and I think I might be taking that bet again soon. I could see it going to 20 maybe like 20 to 50, 40 billion. I know Crash thinks it's going to 100 billion, but yeah, it's definitely one of the prime ETH betas. Another one I want to look at, like maybe with less volatility, but not as much upside, but I think could still do a 10x is a banana.
Yeah. So can I quickly go through this one? I just want to show two examples really quick that we were
Yeah,
looking
go
at.
for it.
Yeah. So, all right. So I've pulled up Cast really quickly and I'm looking at Saga really quickly. But before we get into Banana, I want to show you something that we did talk about Thursday. No, it was Wednesday that we talked about this. And it was a shoulder, head, and shoulder, right? And we did talk about how powerful these things can be when they break out. And from that, I remember we were talking about it. It was at 11 cents. And then we went from 11 all the way out to 16 cents, right? And that's within like 2, 3 days. Okay. So great gains there if you guys were watching the stream. The other one right now that I am looking at as well, as Henry brought it to my attention here, is a smaller shoulder, head, and shoulder here, which did the exact same thing, right? Shoulder, head, shoulder ripped. It did the retest. Now, probably some continuation on Saga. If you see the bigger time frame, it's also a bigger shoulder, head, shoulder, cup, and handle. I mean, it's there, right? And so Saga would be making some decent moves. Now, moving into Banana, right? While I gave you all of that background, look at that shoulder, head, and shoulder. And, we ripped, and right now we're retesting these levels of 66. So what is that telling us? It's telling us that I think it would be ready for that next run, right? Levels to watch for Banana if you want an entry would be anywhere between now and $62, right? Once we have that consolidation and it's ready to go, short-term targets are to $100 and higher, essentially. So, keep an eye out on Banana. It's looking primed. It's done a lot of moves, and it will be going to price discovery soon. So again, don't faint of that shoulder, head, and shoulder. it's ready to go. If you're gonna go in this one, not financial advice, but DCA into this one. Between 65 and 62 are great areas to start DCAing. And next thing you know, it's probably gonna continue to go here. So that's that update. Do you want to add anything to banana?
Yeah, I'll just talk about like the quick fundamentals. Maybe worth it's probably worth a deep dive, like maybe a long form video. But
Hmm.
basically, Banana Gun is one of the most used Telegram trading apps, and they make a lot of fees. I think I saw they were trading like 1 to 1, like a multiple of 1 to 1 with fees to market cap. So they're raking in a lot of fees, and I think it could be one of the big winners of the cycle. I could see it seeing going to multiple hundreds of dollars. And when I look at like stuff on the ETH network, I want to buy things that are going to get me more ETH. So you can see it's got this really strong uptrend versus ETH, and basically what this means is, if you're long one ETH and you want to turn into more ETH, you buy something like Banana because it's going up in exchange rate relative to ETH. And yeah, I think like Alex said, you probably want a DCA because I don't know if this one's going to be giving you pullbacks, but definitely keep an eye on the ETH, on the Banana Ethereum chart. And I think even now, like, is a decent spot. So you have the monthly open here at 0.021. And basically, what this means is it's slightly bearish versus Ethereum, but I think that's just because like ETH is kind of making its big move, and then some of like the prime alts like Banana Gun are gonna start to get a bid right after people have loaded up on their ETH. They're gonna look at like what can I buy on the ETH network, and essentially it's in this big channel. I think once it breaks out of the channel, it's gonna be pretty explosive, but near term, it's kind of in this flag right now, and I would say from where it's at now, it's probably a good pickup to gain up to, let's see what the flag, the measured move projects, basically make 40% on ETH, right? So uh, if ETH goes up, 20%, this is going to go up like, what's the math there? Like if ETH goes up 1%, this goes up 4 times as much. No, if ETH goes up 10%, this goes up 40%. Yeah, I think that's what it is. But pretty good risk reward, and about to go into price discovery against its USD pair. So definitely one of the stronger like utility non-meme coin alts. And I think we can go into now, Alex, like maybe some of the other L1s or potentially some of the
Yep.
memes.
Yeah, let's do some
Okay.
L1s that I want to take a look at really quick.
Let me just check
So
if this sector performance
oh
thing
yeah, do that. Yeah.
load.
Because I mean the
No, it's not
inflows into
loading.
SUI and SUI ecosystem have been incredible. So I mean, if yeah, let me just go through. If it's not working, then you can wait it out. I'll go through some charts.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
So we're still focused on like our main strategies, L1s, what L1s are going to outperform Solana, outperform ETH, the strongest L1s out there. If you're not familiar with that term, it's like a layer one. So like it's the blockchain that hosts other applications, other tokens on it. And think of it as like the dollar, like its own economy, right? And when the economy grows on it, the dollar goes up. So similar type of concept here. Um,
Yeah.
those I think are the safest bets, like have proven to outperform cycle to cycle, the L1s. And then when we look at like meme coins or banana, like application tokens, we're really just trying to get like leverage exposure to the L1.
Yeah. All right. So one of the calls that we did have on our live or on our Telegram was a few weeks. Actually, when was this one? This one was on November 8th. So about 3 days ago, 4 days ago, I had this flag that I posted in the Telegram group to, get about 21% profits. And that was a very conservative play. Obviously you could go higher because it is in price discovery. This is for SUI, by the way. And so we ended up, having this flag built, and we did about 40% gain, I think. So, From the call, we went up to 46%, right? So again, guys, make sure you're joining the Telegram to get more calls like this. But essentially, what we're looking at is, we've talked about Sui for the last, was it like month and a half, about how this Sui is going to be one of the ones to stay and do great in the market overall. And right now I believe Sui is about to flip AVAX. So just keep that in mind. Sui was at 14th in the top 100, and AVAX is 13th, right? So don't fade on these L1s, right? And right now, what we're seeing for Sui, just as an update, we're respecting this. We're respecting this flag, so it doesn't fully want to dump, right? And if we decide to retest something, it would be this area right here, which is like the $3 one. But from there, I would see again more upside to this, because we've been going sideways here, right? And we're creating new structure. And that's good. That's good for Sui. So then it continues to get higher. On the low end, if we come back down, maybe 282, if you guys want to see something like that. But I think if we're looking at, the bullish scenario for what, our next stop is going to be, I would say it's probably $4 to $5, right? So just keep an eye on that one. And remember, Sui did that in about 3 days, of 45% rip. Okay. The other one I've been looking at recently was Phantom, and I gave this one out into the group earlier today. I think it was like around 78 or 80. I can't remember. But here's what we're seeing for Phantom. Again, we talked about this one last week, and it's a very interesting one because we're not going to see many pullbacks. One thing I do want to note is, while Sui ripped and a lot of alts ripped, Doge ripped from like 20 cents to 33 cents. So some crazy numbers there.
Yeah, we called that one too a few weeks ago.
Yeah, that's right. We had that one on our channel. We called it at 16, I believe, and then it now it's at 30, and that's all within a week. So 100% gains in about a week. But one thing that we were looking at in the macro level for Phantom was this, right? So we ended up breaking out of this cup and handle, right? And we went up, we retested here. And Phantom has not been performing as strong as the other ones, but the time will come for Phantom. So that's what I'm saying. That's why I put it out in the group earlier today, because, we may see another retest, maybe in the 78, 80s. It's going to stay maybe here for a little longer, or just go sideways before it continues to go up again. And so I'm personally in a very heavy position on this one. I'm currently at profits, but I'll let this one play out. Because again, it hasn't had that movement it needs. Short-term targets for me are maybe like $1 to $1.20. So I would say this move could happen within this week to next week. Again, depending on Bitcoin, right? But overall, very bullish on these alts. To me, this bull run, it wouldn't surprise me to see Phantom at about like $3. Just because they're coming up with that, what is it, S, or some sort of rebrandment, Henry?
Yeah, Sonic,
yeah. So that's it. That's the move for this one. Short term, I'd say if we do decide to take a dip, look at the 78 region, and then from there, just kind of holding this to then continue to the upside. And then the last one I want to look at was Tau, because we were talking about Tau last week. I believe it was on Wednesday.
So just to remind everyone, and sorry to cut you off, Alex. The strategy that we are both employing here is like, let's find the stuff that's been leading the market, and let's figure out how to get leveraged on it, and or get entries on that, right? Because usually, like I said, the leaders keep leading. So Sui, Tau, and I'm actually going to pull up a chart here in a second to show you guys, like in the last 90 days, Sui and Tau have been some of the best performers. And if you were around for the last bull market in 2020, 2021, the altcoins that started leading did continue leading. So that was like Solana, Luna, AVAX last time. Phantom was one of them. And Phantom is more of like a laggard play, but we know it has that catalyst coming up, right? So these are like the safer plays that we're looking at, in terms of like, you're not going to get as much volatility as meme coins, but you're going to make money on them. But yeah, that's basically why we're taking the time to show you guys, like, these are the L ones we're most bullish on. These are the ones that have the most momentum. and then we know like let's focus on these ecosystems, these meme coins in the ecosystems to capture even more of that momentum.
Exactly. No, that's well put. But yeah, essentially that's what we've been showing you over the last few months is those points where you're going to get that opportunity, right? And so yeah, again, last week we talked about Tau, same pattern, shoulder, head, and shoulder, and guess what happens, right? We were talking about it around, I think it was 480, 490, and it just pulled at 27%. So this one looks like it's going to continue to go. I don't think there's going to be any pullbacks. Very hard to see some pullbacks. But if we
Yeah.
decide to see some pullbacks, I would say, 560, right? If we do. Otherwise, it's just going to continue to go. So yeah, those are some updates for, some good L1s that we've been looking at that we've also been making profits from. So it's stay privy to these things. Do you want to take a look at
Yeah.
Tau or? Yep.
Yeah. So not Tau specifically. I finally got the sector stuff to
Okay, cool.
load.
Yeah, yeah.
And another reason to keep these coins on your radar is when you know they're the leaders and you have a dip on the leaders in a bull market, it's almost like, I don't want to say free money, but you're gonna print if you're longing the leaders when they sell off on a bull market, and we get those liquidation cascades we were talking about. So just even if you don't want to buy them now, and I wouldn't recommend you do as when they're pumping as hard as they are, just keep them on your watch list when you have like a really strong correction of like 5, 10, 15% on Bitcoin, and altcoins are going to really bleed there, and that's going to be your chance to get into some
Yeah.
of the leaders. So I guess speaking of the reason we like Tau is because it's really become the leader of AI. So if we look at like sector performance today, AI is number one, right? Up 14% almost. And then AI and memes. So these are like the breakout chosen ones, chosen narratives of this cycle. Then you have L1. So, this is why we keep focusing on like AI memes and L1s. And, if you look at the weekly memes up 60%, AI L1s, just like on any time frame you want to choose, it's going to be memes, L1s, AI here, monthly, same thing. Memes, L1s, DeFi is making a comeback, but over a longer period, it's been AIs and L1s, and then from a L1 perspective, uh, Near is actually picking up, which is interesting because they're kind of like a AI and uh, L1 in one, kind of like Tau, but just like an older coin. So that's been doing well. Aptos we talked about on past streams. Say, so it's really just like I hope you guys are in the market already and you were positioned, because if you're sidelined and you're watching this, it's got to hurt.
Yeah.
But Sui has been the leader over the last week, and Ada just recently pumped. The founder, I think, is going to be an advisor to Trump, which is crazy.
Oh
Uh,
wow.
yeah,
Wow.
let's look over the last month. Yeah, Ada's over now the top performing L1. I don't know if it's sustainable. Um, Maybe I'm just
Oh
biased, but
shit.
definitely something to check out. But if we look at over the last 90 days, the top performing coins, like I said, like these are the ones to buy on pullbacks. You have Sui up 250%, Doge 200%, most of that in the last 2 weeks. Phantom, so you know these are the strongest coins. The market is telling you this is what they like. This is what they're bidding the hardest. And when you get a dip on these, you gotta eat that up, because they're going to continue leading. Uh, and also, wanted to just talk about this real quick. So, right now we're still coming out of Bitcoin season. So, Bitcoin versus alt season. Bitcoin season is basically what's happening now, where Bitcoin is going up more than most alts. Bitcoin dominance is pushing. We've talked about the importance of this metric, and how when it rolls over, it's gonna mean the start of the altcoin crazy altcoin market that we got in 2020 and 2021, and it looks like it wants to push even higher. So it's pushing up again. With Bitcoin pulling these crazy candles. So Bitcoin's going up as a percentage of all of crypto, but we're coming out of Bitcoin season. We're going as this chart moves up into altcoin season. That's when altcoins really start making their parabolic moves. So that's the crazy part about all this. Like even though Sui is like up 200%, and all these other coins are up 100%, like they're probably just getting started. And actually, ADA is the perfect example of this because it was also one of the leaders last cycle. So probably worth a look here. Wow, look at this candle, man, insane.
Yeah, it did 100%. I was just looking at that.
So let's rewind back on like a preview on what's about to happen to second cycle alts. What I mean by second cycle is like if you look at ADA, comes out in 2017, 2018, goes from 1 cent over 100x to 130, right? But then it draws down here 90%. Okay. Everyone's like left bag holding consolidates from here in March 2020 for 2 years, right? 2 year bear market. Um, so yeah, February, yeah, basically here. You get this 2 year range here. It's consolidating, basically accumulating for 2 years, right? Imagine being a bag holder throughout all this. But people that bought at the bottom here, again, 2 cents, guess what? They got to ride it up even higher to $3. So yeah, I mean, almost 100x there.
Yeah.
And this just ingrained this chart into your head because that's where a lot of second cycle alts are now. And first cycle alts are over here, at least the good ones, right? So one of these, we talk about Phantom a lot. It is one of the second cycle alts. Actually, it might be third cycle, but we can look like very similar structure, right? That's why I've already even drawn this out. Like first peak here in October 2021, second peak, similar story. People made 100x's, 14x here from the bottom. Draws down 90%. 2 year bear market, May 2022 to February 24, right? And where are we now? Well, we are about to get the second leg. And that's what you got to be. That's what you want to be looking for. So again, compare that to ADA. I'd say like, this is November 24. It's probably around, if you think about the halving and how the cycle worked last time, you're probably around here now. Like you probably have this range and, retesting the flag here. And just starting to break out. So here, same thing, November 2020. Look what happened after that. So I think you're going to see this pattern a lot throughout, some of the bigger L1s. So especially the ones that are like really building and making progress in their ecosystem and their tech. So still a lot, even though everything's pumping, there's still a lot of, game left to play, a lot of gains to be had. Yeah, anything else to add there, Alex, in terms of like the safer L1s?
No. I mean, yeah, I think I'll echo back what you said is, if there's a pullback, it's probably a good time to add on those winners, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, keep that in mind. So with that, we wanted to shout out AAA here as it has been one of the top performing coins in SUI. Definitely looking like a leader. I mean, look at this price action. We brought it. We've been talking about it since over here. I think like 10 million. We're gonna have to get that clip. But yeah, our thesis is playing out. Remember what we said a couple streams ago? Like when SUI goes into price discovery, check SUI's in price discovery. SUI memes are gonna follow, right? And also we had been posting in our Telegram group like AAA Cat has been the strongest meme out of all of them.
Yeah.
At least up until a few days ago. I don't know how it's looking now. Yeah, you can see right here. So in the top market cap, you have it's the strongest gainer by far over FUD. 250% over the last week, 250%. FUD is up 60%. Blub is up 80%. Hippo is up 140%. So Hippo's pretty strong right now also. But AAA is very close to flipping Blub and FUD. So it'll be interesting to see how that dynamic plays out. Yeah, but it's going aggressively into price discovery. So hopefully you guys got in this one with us. But yeah, if you want to take a look, Alex, where do you think we have?
Yeah, I want to add something to what you said. Well, essentially, it's the same thing we've been saying for the last month and a half. We're looking at a coin that's a cat, right? And we've talked about the cat cycles.
The coin is a cat, guys. That's number one. Don't forget that.
That's number one. That's all that matters at the end of the day. And I think if and I'll just quick explanation why I was so bullish on this one in general was, did you see the run that happened prior to this run again? Like, do you guys remember this? We did talk about this, and it was an incredible run that did almost like a 36x from, I think it was like a 1 million market cap, or like, yeah, or something like that. But when I started seeing this pullback, that's when I said, okay, like I'm doubling down on this one. And I ended up, going really, really, really heavy on buying all of this price action. And, I did buy the bottom and I did buy these dips because I understood what was happening, what was going to come, especially just by looking at this chart. And, something that you said earlier, Henry, you're like, okay, so people are going to want money, like exchanges are going to want money, right? They're going to want fees. And what these exchanges are most likely going to be doing is looking into the ecosystems of, Sui, Phantom, whatever, right? Solana. I mean, they've been doing this with Solana for so often, Base, and they're going to start pulling the top gainers, right? Where do they make money? And that's what they're going to do. They're just going to start, putting a shit ton of meme coins, right? If they put ACT, which was a lower market cap of AAA, I mean, come on. You know what I mean? So I think, these exchanges are looking to add, a lot of these different types of coins that are going to make them money, especially right now. So it wouldn't surprise me. Anyway, so kind of moving into the chart, I have this target of about 36 to like 39 million market cap short term. Maybe we can get that, then potentially a pullback to like 26, maybe 30, and then to continue to see 50 million to 100 million. Personally, I don't know about you, but I'm actually looking to add in on every dip, right? So if we get a pullback to 20, I'm adding like a very heavy again until we see this to 100 million. I think that's a psychological level for us to reach. And it's not too far fetched, because if we kind of look at Hippo ended up becoming Hippo was a 180 million market cap coin. So what makes you think a cat won't get there? Right, just I'll leave that for food for thought. But yeah, that's what I have for AAA.
Yeah, just to add to that, I got a couple good tweets here to share on because AAA is one of our main plays this cycle. We're really bullish Sui. Sui's showing, we showed you the performance. It is the top performer over the last 90 days, and there's no reason why it can't continue that dominance. Now, when it comes to AAA, as Alex said, you see my screen, right?
Yep.
This guy NFT Josh tweets, maybe getting a Binance listing, top one cat meme on Sui. This is him speculating, but if Binance is listing ACT, like, let's remember, if we look at the top memes on here, none of these are on exchanges yet. That's how early it is. So you might think like, oh, AAA is already at 33 million. I'm late up 34 million as I'm speaking.
Jesus.
But understand, crypto, I'm going to explain something to you guys. Crypto operates on a comparison. Everything is on comparables, okay? So the meme market cap on Sui combined is lower than one shitcoin on Solana. Okay.
That's insane, dude.
And there's no reason why these can't be at 300, 500, a billion when you have Sui getting more traction than Solana, right? It's only a matter of time. That's why it's so early on these. Now, let's take a quick look at like the Solana ecosystem, right? Because as I said, crypto is a comparison game. So if we look at Solana memes as a category, it's at 16 billion almost. Okay. So you're talking about, I don't know how much that is, but it's a lot more. It's like almost a 20x higher, right? 25x around there.
Yeah. Give or take.
That's pretty crazy. And look how many coins there are over 260. And those are multiple coins, right? And then you have just the whole ecosystem isn't even that. So, and on top of that, you have you know, I want to take a look at cat memes compared to dog memes because,
Yeah,
as Alex said, it is a cat. Let's not forget it's a cat, okay? And
that's the
the cat,
important part, right?
yeah, it's really important. Don't forget that. And if you look at cats, like Popcat is the leader right now. It's at 1 billion. Uh, and as Popcat price is higher, again, people are going to compare. Now the top cat is 10 billion, 5 billion. The valuations for other stuff goes up as well. So if we look at cat themed, you're talking about 5 billion. So that's less than like even just one dog. Uh, and if we look at the dog category, dog NFTs, and it's really like you don't overcomplicate this stuff, guys. People look at comparables, and that's how they value stuff in crypto because there's no cash flows, there's rarely a business. So all you have to go off is what's the highest thing, how much of a percent can this get of that highest thing. So dogs are at 77 billion, cats six cats are at not even 10% of that. So this feels like it can reprice to at least half of this. So I honestly think like a lot of the best gains are going to come from cats.
Yeah,
So you're getting exposure to both like cat and Sui growth in one play. Uh, but actually, I hadn't planned on doing this, Alex. But would you want to just look
yeah,
at the memes on Sui and just see how they look compared to AAA? Because
yeah.
obviously
Let's
we have
do
our
it.
AAA bags, but are we missing something? Or should we just double down on the strongest one? So I would
Yeah,
love to look at like, if we sort by volume, because when it comes to memes, it's all about attention and volume. And I think we can just stick with the top five, like Loopy, Fud, Blub, Hippo. You think those are all worth looking at?
yeah, yeah. Let's do it.
Okay. So I guess I'll start with Hippo here. But yeah, I mean, I hope you guys are understanding. I had one more tweet here on AAA. If you're not bullish enough already, so this guy says why AAA will have a Popcat run on Sui. If you're bullish Sui, then you want to bet on beta plays that help you capture the upside. Big whales are sizing up on Sui a few months back. Bullish on the tech. They're asking what memes are safe. And let's remember this whole thesis started. If you watch one of our earlier streams, we said Sui is being looked at as this cycle's runner, as the Solana killer. Okay, and the narrative is only picking up. Especially, I want to show you guys this because as I said, if we're going into other L1s, we want to be outperforming the best L1 right now, which is Solana.
Yeah,
So we had the other day we looked at Sui versus Solana, right?
yeah, yeah,
And it's if we zoom in here, it's going up pretty strongly. Over the last 1, 2, 3 days, or even from this bottom here, it's up 60% versus Solana, right? So if Solana is going up, this is going up faster. And from a TA perspective, this looks like a giant W, double bottom, right? Once you get out of this range, it's going to price up pretty aggressively. So we're bullish Sui over Solana. This guy, it is being seen as a Solana killer. And he's saying, giving me early Solana vibes, matter of time. AAA is around 25 mil now, close to highest priced memes with float around 30 to 50 mil. Wide AAA, provenance, liked by Sui natives, leading cat coin. And he's predicting it's going to continue to catch bids to 100 mil. So I think you're looking at least a clean 3x here,
yeah,
depending on how fast Sui moves, right? And once Sui breaks into the top 10 this cycle, could be very well a couple 1 billion memes in their ecosystem. Again, just like Solana, right? Like what I just showed you. So, and the reason I like AAA so much is these other ones aren't memes. Well, Loopy kind of is.
hmm
We'll do a deep dive on these.
yeah,
But yeah, don't sleep on AAA if you haven't already gotten in. You want to look at the first one, Alex? You want to take a look at Hippo? That's the biggest
yeah,
meme right now.
yeah,
Pretty
yeah.
volume on Hippo's insane. 50 million.
Well, The reason why it's also that big, it's because you have to think about how Hippo is also 150 million market cap, right? So still, I think this one's still, it's like a very heavy one. It's expected, right, as opposed to like smaller market caps, right? And look at that. I didn't know they
I
were on
mean,
Mexi and KuCoin.
but
What?
think about it though. Like it's doing 50, almost 25 times as much volume as all the other stuff. So,
Yeah.
uh, and remember, like, I don't know if I showed you this. Mu Deng is one of the top performers. So I wonder if people are viewing it as like the Mu Deng of
Of
yeah,
Sui?
like look at Mu Deng over the last week. It's up 170%, 180%. And if you look at Su Deng, almost up just as much, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you want to take a look at that one first?
Yeah, let's do Hippo. Hippo. All right, give me a second.
But it's around, the interesting thing is it's around where we looked at it the first time. Like it did dip,
Yeah,
and it's not like we underperformed because when we bought the dip on stuff, AAA went up the fastest. But I'm just wondering if like
exactly.
I'm wondering, if it's hard to pick one and say like it's definitively going to a billion, but I feel like out of these top five, one of them probably goes to a billion, if not 500 million,
Yes,
or at
you're
least
indeed.
300 million, which is the top meme on Tron.
And oh, and then actually, if you can afterwards, let's take a look at that one. So I'll hand it over to you for that one. But yeah, so
Which
we
one?
had it in this flag
Sorry, what?
earlier. The one on Tron.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the one on. But we had this one, mapped out since early October, and we had some levels. But this one, I mean, this is kind of crazy that we had a pullback of about 60-70%, and it's still held at about 50 million market cap, right? So this one did like a good 120x, which is 1.2x, which is or 1.5x, which is not bad. It's great performance, I think.
Went
And right
back
now
all the
we're
way to
coming.
50 mil.
Yeah, went back to 50 mil,
Wow.
and then it ripped again. But honestly, this one was a bit strange because of the way this was dumping. It looked as if they almost gave up on this one. It was just really bad the way it was going down as AAA was going up. So like you said, I'm okay with missing this. What is it, like 150, 160% move, because I outperformed Hippo with just AAA. I did like
Yeah.
a 3x already on that one. So it's just, to me, it doesn't matter, right? But I think it should be interesting what becomes the top meme of Sui, right? And I mean, absolutely, Hippo is an absolute contender there with his, could be making like a
It's the
shoulder, a
top
head, and
contender right
shoulder.
now.
Exactly. But
First one to go to a billion.
I think something tells me that, probably take over at some point, or if not, be the second. If let's just say Hippo is the first, I think
Even if
AAA
it
is the second.
doesn't, look, you got to think about. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no. So I mean, even if Hippo does become number one, maybe Hippo does like a 1 billion. What do you think AAA is going to do? It's going to hit 500 million. It's not going to lag behind,
Well,
because we know that AAA has been outperforming all of these memes in AAA in Sui ecosystem.
yeah. Also, if Hippo goes to 300 million, it's only a 3x. If AAA goes to 300 million, that's a 10x. And if it goes
Bingo.
to a billion, that's like 35x. Whereas Hippo is only a 10x. And now I'm not the only one that's going to think like that near term.
Mhm.
I think Hippo is actually a great proof of concept, and we'll take a look at all of these. But I bet you it's the only meme listed on exchanges at the moment. And when it's doing 50 million in volume, like that's no joke. That I think this is like people that are too lazy to bridge to Sui, or like don't want to figure out the ecosystem, are probably buying this on exchanges, trying to get leverage Sui. So it kind of proves like that demand is there. But I think it's they only have one choice right now. But if other stuff gets listed, and let's take a look at where the other stuff is listed, I bet you I have a hunch they're not listed in many exchanges, and that's probably why you're seeing like such a disparity in the volume.
Do you want to share your screen for that? Do you want to show it?
Yeah.
Or yeah.
So just to wrap up Hippo here, you got it going 100 million up
Yeah. So I have
to
it going to about 230 million market cap. I do see this as resistance, right? So for example, we did hit here, we got rejected, and then we came back down, right? And even here, you start seeing resistance. So this area here in the purple box is resistance. Ideally, if let's just say we are fully bullish, it's a breakthrough, right? And then we hit these old levels. We retest this here, the 130 million market cap, and then we continue, right? But either way, it's bullish. We can flag down to like 90 million, 95 million, and then rip again, or break through, go to 170, pull back a little bit, and then continue to go, right? And again, like we've been saying, Sui's going to rip. All of these are going to rip. And, that's so I'm giving you two scenarios here, this one and this one, 96, 97, and then the 130, 140.
And if we get that pullback, I might actually go long on some leverage here because it is on perps. I'll show you guys in a second.
Oh wow. Okay. I didn't know it was on.
So it is on perps on Mexi and KuCoin. So that's probably doing a lot of volume on perps too. 16 million on 16,000. I was reading that wrong. Wow. Okay, so let's look at the other ones on Sui. So we have Didsu Dang, FUD, Loopy, and Blub. And if we rank them, this is ranked by volume. So you want to stick to things that are doing top volume. I don't know about this Axel one. It's only doing 170K in volume, so probably skip that one. But let's just see where these are listed first. So FUD, 46 million FDV, 35 million fully diluted. I think the team holds or burnt a certain percentage. It's also listed on Mexi, but not on KuCoin. So this one already has some centralized exchanges. Blub, another big one, currently 36 million market cap. Just Mexi, right? So not on KuCoin either. So Hippo, they were the first to get listings. Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you, man. Hold on really quickly. So AAA is about to flip FUD or whatever, right? Or Blub? Because that one's
I said that.
Holy crap. Oh, I didn't hear you. That's insane.
It's at 33 million. And once it flips these two, we're going to look at the charts in a second. We can look at them side by side. If you look at Hippo, yes, that looks like a strong chart, but it's not as strong as this one. It's not in price discovery. Okay. So when you're talking about where these could go, I think it could go, if you're talking about memes, ecosystems where memes aren't as popular as Solana, I think a good measure to have is between 300 to 400, where Sundog topped out, right? You had a Tron meme season for 2 weeks to a month. But let's take a look at these other ones. Blub. And I remember we did an overview for all of these. We were bullish all of these, but we were most bullish on AAA. So Blub's not in price discovery yet. And then we'll take a look at FUD also.
Yeah, I think that we'll be taking market share from FUD and PUG.
What do you mean will be? It is as right now as they're speaking. What do you think this?
Yeah. But I think we're gonna continue to flip them, and I think the two runners are gonna be between Hippo and AAA.
What's interesting is the teams got a little greedy here, and I think it's biting them a little bit, coming back to bite them, because you can see the FDVs are higher than market cap, so they weren't fair launches. Not all the supplies in the market like AAA. But everything is not in price discovery. Now FUD to me does look like the most bullish out of all these.
Oh wow, yeah.
And it's flipped the 0.5 here. Essentially in one big range here from 40 mil to 10 mil. And it looks like it retested here. This looks super bullish to me. So if you're talking about who's going to be another contender to go to $1 billion, FUD could be the one. It's kind of broken out if we ignore that wick there. just flipped bullish again on the daily, but uh, yeah, I mean, I think if you're looking at targets for this one, you're probably good to long now, and probably not. Maybe wait for a retest of the 0.5 if it comes, and you're targeting the measured move of this flag here around like 70 mil.
Yeah.
So not bad. You want to take a look at Blub?
Yeah. Let's go to Blub.
But just the fact that they're not in price discovery and AAA is, it kind of tells you everything, right? Like,
yeah,
people don't mind buying all-time highs on AAA because they kind of, the market's telling you it knows where it's going. Like, they know this is a leader, and yeah, looking at these other charts, like, they look okay, but definitely not as bullish as AAA.
Yeah, and as I was buying some AAA, I've been keeping up with the price almost daily, right? And I've seen about 3 accounts throw clips of 90,000, 70,000, and 50,000 just at once, right? And this was since I think it was at 14 million market cap. So that just, obviously I haven't seen the rest, but to have that conviction of these people throwing that much money into AAA is mind-boggling, right? But they understand the whole the whole ecosystem. They understand what cats are. They understand that they're bullish on Sui. So I guess it just they don't need to do enough. Like, they don't need to do much to justify their actions, right? But anyway, so we had this one on Blub. We did look at Blub back in October. We did dump down to here, which was that support region that we've had in the past. Again, that shoulder will give you a lot of, good price action. So we ended up, this one has done like a good, 1x, which is still really good. But it's still, this is still looking to me looking at these charts, it's looking a bit bearish.
Bearish, really?
Yeah, bearish if we don't hold these this specific area here, the support. But look at the stochastics on the 12 hours. It's laggy. The 8-hour has been going down, bearish divergence, almost an M pattern, so like a double top. Yeah,
running out of momentum for sure.
I think so, and I think that's what I'm seeing here. And then we have to hold this area here. If we hold it and we go sideways, then yeah, we're still bullish. But this is not, I don't know. It's not looking too bullish right now. I'll tell you off the bat. Maybe get like a bounce off of this one and then continue. But if I'm looking at the 12-hour, stochastics is coming back down. We double topped. So yeah, hold this area. We're good to go. If not, then, we maybe come back down to a double bottom and maybe see 25 million market cap possibly. But no, not too bullish on this one. Great pump, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think we just continue betting on the leader, right? Especially, yeah. But I wonder if there's a psychological resistance here of like, people see that AAA catches up to FUD, Blub, the other two big coins in the ecosystem, and like it sells off. Or I wonder if it just flips it, right? If it flips it, I think that would be the best thing, because then FOMO starts to kick in of like, okay, this is the new leader and it's coming for Hippo. And yeah, people could, clip in 100, 200K in it, betting that it goes to 300 to 500 million. So that's definitely something we'll keep an eye on. If it does flip those two, I think it could continue going up aggressively. Not saying it can't correct. It's had like a really strong move also. Mm-hmm. I think it all just depends on what Bitcoin and Sui do. But overall, I think long term, this thing is, it's going to be one of the big winners, one of the big runners on Sui.
Primed. Do you want to share where you can buy this one? I know you had up the CoinGecko.
I think it's on a couple on a the AAA cap. Yeah, we're gonna look at what exchanges it's on. Yeah. Right. So let me share that real quick. So it's on Mexi and
What?
some smaller ones. No
I didn't know it was on
no perps
Mexi.
yet, so that's probably why it's not doing as much volume. But yeah, Mexi will list anything, man.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm waiting for CoinX to also list it. Um, yeah, nice.
Yeah, but I
And
think
that's without like a
Sui,
major listing. That's good. Uh-huh.
and looks like Sui's hitting some resistance here versus Bitcoin. Obviously, uh, Bitcoin is really strong today, but it looks like it's going to break through this pretty soon, I think. And you can see it's in a bull trend. So yeah, I mean, I think we're in the right bags. Um, if you do get a pullback, uh, versus Bitcoin, where we get it. Yeah, I mean the monthly opens like all the way down here, so it's just really extremely bullish.
I mean, if you pull a fib from there, from like the impulse to the top, maybe like at a 0.5 or maybe at a 0.38 or something, we could maybe see. Or actually, yeah, yeah, one of those.
Yeah, so maybe here the 0.38, but I think
Yeah,
that'd be that'd be a gift, honestly. I think if you look at how other L1s are valued, uh, and the fact that they're all going higher, I think Sui could be a top 10 coin. I mean, I think that's
I think, yeah, it's the top 14, I think, right now. So we're only 4 away from top 10.
it's 18th right now. So
Oh, never
it
mind.
could flip. I could see it flipping ton, AVAX, Tron. I mean, even XRP. You know, it's and
Yeah,
that's like a 4x away from where it is now by market cap. So could definitely see this one continuing to rise, especially with the momentum it has. Um, but yeah, I think that about covers it today. Anything else you wanted to look at, Alex?
Uh, not really. I mean, I think we've covered most of the things that we want to look at. Did you have any memes that you want to look at on Solana or in general? If there's
Not at the moment. Not anything
okay,
that's like super bullish. I think there are a couple I'm looking at that maybe we'll share in the Telegram. But uh,
nice.
yeah, I think market is going really crazy. Especially, I mean, everything's going up, and yeah, there's a lot of opportunity, especially in lower caps to multiply your capital pretty quick. Oh, it looks like Bitcoin is pulling back a bit though.
Yeah, 1,000 should be all right.
Yeah, uh, yeah, I'm
Yeah, I
not
mean, I
taking
would.
profit yet, but
What's
definitely
that?
keeping an eye on funding. Not taking profit yet.
Yeah, no, I'm yeah. I mean, this one right now, the hit the 88K move was the sort of resistance move, but what I'm waiting to see right now is some sideways movement. Uh,
It's
maybe
been
like
up only.
exactly. So whether it's going to come down really low, I doubt it. I have tons of doubts because the charts are literally telling you this thing is going to continue. So maybe like a slight pullback or just a flag, go sideways and then continue to go back up. So I wouldn't be surprised to see this like on Wednesday or Thursday making higher highs. Yeah.
Yeah, the market's it's pricing pretty aggressively.
And then for Sui, just before we go, there's this trend that we currently have that we don't want to break. If we do break this nice little flag that we have here, then yeah, I mean, definitely see it down to like $3, at most 270, but I still think that this one stays a little higher.
It's crazy. We were just charting this thing at 170 like a week ago.
It's yeah, I mean, yeah, that retest, yeah, kind of pits,
But
but
yeah.
yeah. All
Oh,
right, go
let's
ahead.
uh let's take a look at Degen. I'm seeing a lot of people get bullish on
Yeah,
Degen.
so Dgen, so let me just post this out really quick. So we did have Dgen in the group that we put out, I believe. back. Trump sold Degen. So I put out Degen at 6 cents at 0.006, right? And our first target for me was 185% gain, and then obviously back to all-time high, right? If we ever get that's an 8x. So we've been having that, we've consistently been updating that information here, but look at where we are now. So from that post, we're up. So pick that up like around 6 here, right? Yeah. So we're up about 1x, 110% with a slight pullback. Wouldn't surprise me if we see it back to, this region here, retest it, and then continue to go up, right? To then complete this move. And then from there, we'll have to see what happens. But yeah, Degen has a lot of bots and a good community. So wouldn't surprise me if this one continues to rip, It's a safe bet for Base in general. It's on Coinbase, it's on Bybit, Futures, Perpetual, it's on Blowfin, it's in a few different ones. So yeah, pretty bullish on this one.
Yep. So I think that's it for today, you guys. Thanks for tuning in. A lot of opportunity in the market. Make sure you guys keep up with our Twitter, Telegram. We're sharing everything we're doing there, making money alongside you guys, and stay locked in. We've been waiting for this, and conditions could not be better to be making money in crypto.
Yes, sir. All right. Hope you guys have a good night. Thanks for joining.
Peace.